Hi everyone, my name is Daniela and welcome to Crafting with a Cocktail, where we make crafts and cocktails all in one segment. So excited you're here. If you're new, I hope you like what you see and stay and subscribe. If you've already been here, you know I'm already so grateful for you. Today is a collab with Living Life with Lan. I'm super excited and I'll tell you a little bit more about her in just a minute, but let's jump right into the DIYs. Cheers! This Boho Glam mirror piece is super simple and super precious. It fits perfectly with my sun and moon DIY decor that I made last week. I will leave that link below if you are interested. That's where those framed canvases came from, below in that original picture. I'm starting off by just using a popsicle stick to pop out this mirror from the plastic frame that I got at Dollar Tree. I started with an X-Acto knife, but I don't recommend it because it did scratch the edge a little bit. And then I'm just using that X-Acto knife afterwards to scrape off the extra glue. Now I'm taking a paper plate and tracing it onto some extra cardboard I had. I was really lucky that one side of this cardboard was really plain so you wouldn't see it, so it would look like a finished product. And the other one had a label, which is fine because we're going to cover that up. But all I did was trace my paper plate onto there, cut it out, and then I used that stencil to cut out some really gorgeous, almost cork-looking fabric that has some gold leaf in it. It's super gorgeous. I somehow lost the footage of me gluing the two together, but all I did was use some hot glue and glued the fabric to the cardboard piece. Easy peasy. Once that's good to go, I am going to take some popsicle sticks from the Dollar Tree. They're a little rough, so I am sanding them down. And I'm going to paint some with gold leaf, liquid leaf, which I will leave linked in the description. It's absolutely the most beautiful metallic gold. Nothing like that translucent stuff in the craft paint. And then some black popsicle sticks. I didn't end up using the original design I was going to do, so the number of popsicle sticks I have out right now is incorrect. So you will actually need 8 black popsicle sticks and at least 4 gold popsicle sticks. Might be worth having a couple extra just in case, and just make sure as you're going around to get all of those edges too. Once those are good to go, I am going to find the middle point of the gold popsicle sticks. The blacks we're going to leave as is, but the gold popsicle stick we're going to cut in half. I'm not sure if these are all shaped differently, but I tried tracing the cut mark on each one of them, and they all ended up slightly different sizes. I'm just using some utility scissors to do this. I did try it with a craft knife at some point. Whatever you think is best. The reason that I have extra ones that I'm cutting is that some of them do fray at the ends and then it won't look good. So just keep that in mind. It's good to have a couple backup gold popsicle sticks on hand. After that, it is time to assemble. So I am basing my design off the Zia symbol, which is this the symbol of New Mexico, which represents the sun. Again, that's why it perfectly goes with that sun and moon decor that I made last week. If you see here, those little black splotches next to the popsicle stick are actually just reflections off the gold in that cork fabric. Don't worry, it's not like I got a bunch of paint on there. So I went in first with just kind of winging it, and then I decided I should probably do this so that it's not crooked. So I'm using my T-square from Dollar Tree to try to measure up as best I can. I want 2 vertical and then 2 going perpendicular to that. So you've got a perfect kind of T coming out of the center circle. After the black popsicle sticks are all in place, we're going to move on to those shorter gold pieces. So I'm going to put one on each side of each popsicle stick, and I realized after gluing the first one that it makes it look so much better if you just kind of cut the end just barely at an angle. Luckily, I think only one of mine frayed a little bit, but you couldn't really tell. But it just kind of goes with the curvature of the mirror. So that's what I did all the way around my Zia symbol or my design. Last but not least, I want to make sure that this is going to hang on my wall without seeing any sort of wire or cord, so I just take a piece of twine, put a knot at each end, and then glued a dot, pressed it in, put more glue on top, and then last second I decided to put a little popsicle stick piece that I had left over on top just to really secure the three of them together. That cardboard piece, the popsicle stick, and the jute or twine, to make sure everything was going to hang nice and tight without having to worry about it coming apart. I genuinely love how this piece turned out. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm glad that it goes with my decor from last week, and it's definitely going to have a permanent place in my home. As I said earlier, this is a collab with Living Life with Lon. She is super sweet and laid back. She's got some great DIYs. You can check her out at the links in my description, and I sincerely hope you do. She is just wonderful and making her way to that 1,000 subscribers. Let's go support her. I think it's about time we find out what today's cocktail is. Since today's theme is everyday decor, but I feel like I'm kind of putting a fun twist on mine, I thought I would do a classic cocktail that also has a twist on it. Now, I know everyone has had a vodka cranberry. Well, this is going to be pretty similar, but a little bit different. We are doing a white cranberry and vodka drink, so I just loaded my cup up with some colorful reusable ice, or you can use regular ice, of course. A nice hefty shot of vodka, a squeeze of a lime. My lime piece was, I don't know, not very juicy. So I squeezed the juice out of a second slice, but I didn't throw it in there. And then just top it off with white cranberry juice and some cherries. Those cherries gave me heck and a half trying to get them out of the jar, so I sped up this craziness for you. But the point is not that. The point is that this was a delicious twist on a classic. This is my absolute favorite DIY of the video. It's this gorgeous boho floral greenery hanging picture thing. What would you call that? I'm not sure, but I'm starting with a long dowel rod. This one is 36 inches. I just bought it at Walmart for under $1. And a giant spool of some jute cord. I had some of this, but I left it at my aunt's house, so I just bought a new one. It was only a few bucks. I can link one down below for you guys if you're interested. And I'm just tying it to both ends of the dowel rod where I want it to hang. I don't want too much rope on the top so it doesn't hang too low, so I'm being mindful of that. And then I'm going to have some fun burning the edges. So I ended up cutting 7 even pieces of this thick jute cord, and I am just going to burn off the little frays off all of them. Be very careful with this. I don't recommend drinking during this part. Just be very careful and don't burn yourself. Try to keep the end of the rope very far away from your hand if you can. And also enjoy my awkward faces that I never know I do until I record myself and then have to look at them. Just for comparison, here's what it looks like with the edges burned and the edges that are frayed. So this is one that is not one that was completely done, and then I compare it to one that is completely done. Just so you know, it makes a difference. Okay, so the reason I picked 7, other than thinking it would fill it out good enough with all my greenery in between, is with an odd number, you know that there's an odd number directly in the middle. So I know, without even having to think about math, that I have to put one in the middle of my rod. So I measured that out, marked it, threw a little hot glue on there, and then tied my jute cord around. And then I evenly spaced out with my ruler after that where the others would go. So if there's one in the middle, 7 minus 1 is 6. That means there's 3 on each side, because 3 plus the one in the middle is 7. That's just the way it works out in my mind. You can do it however makes sense to you, but that's how I figured it out. If you're nervous, use like a similar colored marker or crayon or whatever to the dowel rod you're using. I used a black Sharpie, which I ended up doing a couple wrong marks, but luckily they ended up being covered by the greenery, but just do whatever feels best to you. Then I'm going to go in between the spaces with a a few different types of greenery. This skinny one that has tons of leaves is from Walmart. It had, oh gosh, I can't remember to be honest, but several feet, over 10 feet, I believe. So I did every other one with this one. And then after I did those, so this is wire, so I'd use a little bit of glue to hold it down, and then I just twist the wire around itself. Then I use some vines I got at Dollar Tree. These are three vines that all had slightly different colors or patterns or shapes to them. And I liked the variety in between the other ones, so that's why I have them alternating. Then I moved from the floor to the wall to straighten out all of my vine pieces. As you can see, they're a crazy curly mess, so I'm just using my hands to bend them and straighten them out and just, do whatever I can to shape them so they're mostly just not necessarily lengthfully. I do like some curvature or, some movement to it, but I'm mostly just really trying to get them to be somewhat straight. For the vines from Dollar Tree, they were a bit long, so I did end up having to use some wire cutters as well as my scissors because of the cardboard outside to cut them a little bit shorter. And right on time, there is my cat, Kobe, joining the fun. Thought I would spare you the pain of watching me kind of straighten those all out, but now I'm just using some regular wooden clothespins because they match the light wood color of the rod. I forgot to mention earlier, but you could totally stain the clothespins or the rod if you wanted to. I liked the kind of pale color. I thought it would create great contrast with the greenery. And anyways, I printed off some pictures from Walgreens as well as snagged a few from albums or pictures people had given to me and just started hanging them up on to my piece here. I did end up going back later. You won't really see it here, but I do end up going and rearranging it a bit before I'm happy with the final result. But I just absolutely love the way that this looks. I am seriously obsessed with how this turned out. I can't believe it. I can't wait to just leave this hanging and for friends to come over and see their pictures up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're new here, I just wanted to introduce myself one more time. Again, my name is Daniela. I love doing any type of DIYs, whether that's apparel, accessories, home decor, literally anything on a budget. Your girl doesn't have the money to buy all the bougie stuff that she wants, so we all DIY it here. If you're interested in any of that or seeing more of my cocktail recipes, I hope you subscribe down below. All right, let's finish up our last DIY. Last but certainly not least is this gorgeous vase type of thing. Honestly, you could use this for utensils, you could use it as a vase, you could use it for a candle, whatever you want. I got this glass and metal set from a thrift store. I think I got it from the Salvation Army. It was $2 and then it was 50% off, so I only got it for $1. And I spray painted the metal part right away. And so I just didn't want to film that part. So now I am mixing my cement looking paste for the glass piece. So I used baking soda and baking powder. Don't ask, I've heard both and it ended up a weird foamy texture. But anyways, I used those with some Waverly white chalk paint and literally a drop of black paint. And I just kept mixing and mixing until it was the color and consistency I liked. I also ended up adding a splash of water. Now, I don't know what chemicals mixed where, but it just became this weird foamy stuff. I think I show you close up in a minute here. But then I just start painting my jar vase thing all around. Here is where you can see that super weird foamy texture inside. Don't ask, I don't know why that happened. I did kind of 2 coats of this. I did 1 solid coat and then as it was drying, I filled in some gaps as well. So I don't know, 1.5 coats or something. Then I added some extra black paint to my mixture and I just really lightly brushed this on, a little bit more wet than dry brushing, I would say, but I really wanted that kind of concrete look, so I thought that the variety in the grays would definitely give that look for me here. After I waited a while for it to dry, I used my heat gun for a little bit, but I also just let it naturally dry for I think like a half hour or so, just because I was nervous about what was going to happen to the foaminess of it. I'm going in with some gold leaf. I'm so pumped to start playing with this stuff. I just got some in the mail. If you didn't check out my AliExpress crafting and beauty supplies haul, you definitely need to. It will be in the end card, and I'll have it linked below as well. That means down in the link we will have Living with Lon's channel link and her collab video, as well as some of the links that I referred to in this video. So make sure you head down there and check it out, along with some links to some products you might be interested in as well that I've been using in this video. To adhere the gold leaf, I'm really lightly brushing some Mod Podge with my chippy brush because I just wanted a little bit of kind of texture with the gold leaf. I didn't want the entire sheet to stick and have some like blocked off areas of gold. So hopefully that will make sense in just a minute here, but I'm just kind of being messy with it, putting it wherever I want. I think I ended up using 2 sheets, maybe 3. There's definitely gold leaf all over my floor. I know that much because it is crazy once you start brushing it. So anyways, just sticking it on by lightly brushing a little Mod Podge, pressing it on there. And then once it's dry a little bit, I'm using a dry chippy brush, so a different one, to just lightly brush off all of the excess, and that's going to leave this gorgeous flaky gold residue. Which, as I said, is the look that we're going for in this piece. I kind of just wanted little specks of it everywhere, so I go back and forth for a while and just add little specks wherever I see fit. After I was done with all the gold leaf, I put it back into its original place with that black frame that we spray painted, and I did smudge a little bit of the gray paint on there. It scraped on as I was doing that, so I just fixed it up with a little bit of black paint, acrylic paint. Super easy, no big deal, and I think this turned out so pretty. It's like industrial but glam but boho. I styled mine with greenery, but you could do whatever you want with yours. Like I said, it could be a candle or anything else. I hope you enjoyed these DIYs. Please check out Lon in the description down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!